The diagram shows the line PQ and the line QR. So PQ is this line here, and QR is this line here. The coordinates of the points are P 4, 2, Q 8, 5, and R 2, 11. Part A, find the slope of PQ. So find the slope of this line. So the points P are 4, 2 and Q 8, 5. So we're going to label them x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to write out the slope formula from the formula book. Slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. We sub into our formula. So y2 is 5, so that goes there. y1 is 2, so that goes there. x2 is 8, so that goes there. And x1 is 4, so that goes there. Then we simplify. So 5 minus 2 is 3, and 8 minus 4 is 4. So the answer is 3 over 4. The slope of the line PQ is 3 over 4. Part B, find the equation of the line PQ. Give your answer in the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are elements of the integer set, so positive or negative whole numbers. So we worked out the slope of PQ to be 3 over 4 in part A, so we're going to use that now in part B. So the equation of the line formula from our formula book is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The point P is 4, 2. Now, since we're trying to find the equation of the line PQ, we could have used 8, 5 instead. It doesn't matter if we use P or Q, our answer will still be the same. So I'm going to go with P, but you could have used Q. You cannot, however, use OR because we're not interested in the line P or, and we're not interested in the line or Q. So if we just look back at our diagram that was given, we can see P and Q are both on the same line, but OR is not. So here's my point, P 4, 2. I label it x1, y1, because in my formula, I have an x1 part and a y1 part. I also have an m, which stands for slope. So m is equal to 3 over 4. So we got that from part A. So then we sub into the formula. So we bring down the y, we bring down the minus. y1, we replace with 2. We bring down the equals. M, we replace with 3 over 4, that's the slope. We bring down the bracket, the x, and the minus. x1, we replace with 4, and we close the bracket. So next we're going to multiply out the brackets. So we're going to bring down the y minus 2 and the equals, and then 3 over 4 times x, a number times a letter, we stick them together. So we get 3 over 4x, and then 3 over 4 times minus 4 is minus 3. So then we're going to simplify. So we're going to move everything over to the left-hand side. And when we carry something over the equal sign, the sign changes. So 3 over 4x comes over the equal sign and becomes minus 3 over 4x. We still have the plus y, so that didn't move over the equal sign, so that stays as plus y. We still have the minus 2, that didn't move either, so it stays as minus 2. The minus 3 comes over and becomes plus 3, and that's all equal to 0. So if we go back to the question, we want it in the form of ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are elements of the integer set. So we want the x part first, and we need a number stuck onto the x that has to be a positive or negative whole number. We want the y part second, and again we want a number stuck onto the y part that is positive or negative. It has to be a whole number. And then we're going to have the c, which stands for the constant, equals 0. So we're going to simplify minus 2 plus 3 gives us 1. So we've minus 3 over 4x plus y plus 1 is equal to 0. So we do have it in the form of the x first, then the y, then the constant is equal to 0. However, we have a fraction, and we don't want a fraction. It tells us here that a, b, and c, so whatever these numbers are, they have to be whole numbers. So z stands for integers, positive or negative, whole numbers. So we're going to multiply across by minus 4 because we have quarters here. Multiplying by the minus will change the x part to positive because we like to have our x part positive. And multiplying by the 4 will get rid of the fraction. So you can just stick into your calculator minus 3/4 multiplied by minus 4. And a minus by a minus is a plus. And 3/4 times 4 is 3. So then y times minus 4 is minus 4y. And then 1 times minus 4 is minus 4, and that's equal to 0. So now we have it in the right format. So 3x minus 4y minus 4 is equal to 0. Note that this capital Z here stands for integers, which are positive or negative whole numbers. So this is a 5-mark question. So this is your answer. Part C. Write down the slope of any line perpendicular to PQ. So the slope of PQ is 3/4 from part A. To get the slope of a line that is perpendicular to PQ, turn the slope of PQ upside down and change its sign. So we get minus 4/3. So we flip the 3/4 upside down and change the sign. So we get minus 4/3 for 5 marks. D. Find the area of the triangle PQR. So our points are P, Q, and R. So P is 4,2, Q is 8,5, and R is 2,11. So in order to use the area of the triangle formula from the coordinate geometry page in our formula book, one of these points has to be 0, 0. So I'm going to change this one into 0, 0, but you can change whichever one you want. So how did 4 become 0? I minused 4. And how did 2 become 0? I minus 2. So I have to minus 4 to each of the x parts, x values. So 8, I have to minus 4 to that, and I have to minus 4 from 2. And I have to minus 2 to each of the y values. So 5, I have to subtract 2 from 5, and 11, I have to subtract 2 from 11. So 8 minus 4 is 4. So then 5 minus 2 is 3. So next, our x value here, 2, we're going to subtract 4. 2 minus 4 gives us minus 2. And then the y value, we're going to subtract 2. So 11 minus 2 is 9. So we now have our points that we're going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. So then we write out the formula. So the area of a triangle is equal to half multiplied by x1 times y2 minus x2 times y1. And these lines here indicate length or modulus. So they indicate that we take the positive value of whatever is inside of the lines. So we sub into our formula. We replace x1 with 4. Make sure you put it inside brackets because we need to multiply. Then y2, we replace with 9. Again, it has to be inside brackets. Then we've got the minus. Then x2, we replace with minus 2. Again, inside brackets. And y1, we replace with 3 inside brackets. Then we simplify. So it's going to be a half multiplied by 4 times 9, which is 36. Bring down the minus. And minus 2 times 3 is minus 6. So then we simplify again. So 36 minus minus 6 is 36 plus 6. So that's going to be a half multiplied by 42. And a half multiplied by 42 is 21. So 21 units squared for 5 marks. This is the area of the triangle. Make sure you use units squared for area or you will lose a mark.